then they were going to win. So for the first time in a long time, Fee Collier actually kind of cooked Angel Reese.
Angel Reese stepped onto the court, but reality hit even harder. Just one preseason game in, and the Lynx gave her a loss so rough it stung. Her shots missed, the defense closed and tight, and in the middle of it all, her confidence seemed to vanish. Was it first game jitters, or was the WNBA sending a clear message? Welcome, rookie. Take a seat. It's definitely not the debut she pictured, but it's one everyone's talking about. So what exactly went wrong? Let's break it down.
You know what I love watching? I love watching her highlights of missing shots. She's got to be the worst shooter you've met in your life.
It's officially panic mode in Chicago, at least for those in the Angel Reese fan club. After 2 preseason games that felt more like clumsy high school tryouts than a WNBA debut, Reese might want to double-check if her crown came with a return policy. While Caitlin Clark is out there effortlessly crossing up defenders and hitting deep threes like it's nothing, Reese is still struggling to hit the basket without picking up a foul or losing rebounds to Camila Cardoso. Spoiler, she's losing both.
Is before a game or after a game or during practice for real? You rarely ever hear from Angel Reese. And my question is why? Why don't you like to talk basketball, Angel? Is it because you miss so many layups, you're so bad at...
Let's be real. Angel Reese's preseason showing has been, at best, underwhelming. She put up just 10 points against the Lynx, hitting only 2 of her 8 shots. That's 2 made baskets in 25 minutes. Basically 1 every 12.5 minutes. If that pace keeps up, someone might want to hand out juice boxes, because this isn't the dominance fans were hyped for. She grabbed 3 rebounds, which is fine if you're a shooting guard, but when you're known for owning the paint and get out-rebounded by a new teammate, it's more than a little uncomfortable.
We got to talk about Angel Reese missing out on these press conferences all the time. What is this really about? Here's a girl, right, who loves to be in everybody's face, loves to be on front center, right? Always on TikTok, always on Instagram, always on YouTube with her podcast, but never during press conferences before a game or after a game or during practice for real. You rarely ever hear from Angel Reese. And my question is why? Why don't you like to talk basketball, Angel? Is it because you miss so many layups, you're so bad at basketball for real?
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is having a whole different kind of preseason. She came out firing like it was the championship, dishing assists, knocking down threes, and controlling the game like she owns the court. Her team, the Indiana Fever, put up 108 points in a game that ended quicker than Angel Reese could pick up her 4th foul. While Clark ran the offense like a pro, Reese was still figuring out where she fits, somewhere between off-ball distraction and pumped-up sideline supporter.
And correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for elevating the WNBA dump. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for taking the dump and turning it into an unmonetizable turd. Now, to her credit, it is a nicely polished turd. It almost looks appealing. Almost. Of course, it's still not appealing enough to generate profit, but I guess the WNBA is taking baby steps. I mean, what's one more year of multi-million-dollar losses? I thought Angel Reese was the star of stars, the icon of icons. That's what the mainstream media keeps telling me. Headline at Forbes from last month. How Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson are leading the WNBA's growth.
But here's the real twist. Camila Cardoso, yes, the other rookie on the sky. The one not headlining Reebok ads or popping up on podcasts every week. She's stepping into that power forward spot like she was built for it. With 13 points, 9 rebounds, and a whole lot of "excuse me, Angel, I'll take that" energy, Cardoso's snagging the boards that used to be Reese's signature. Now it's Cardoso doing the work, making the plays, and still walking away with the extras, while Reese is left holding the bill.
Angel Reese is smooth 6'3". And jump like that, grab him, rim, and dunk him. Let's be honest, that's bounce for a girl. That's bounce. Now, some of y'all are probably wondering why I said she could dunk. I mean, obviously, Shorty can't dunk now. We see the game, she barely getting off the ground. She getting like an inch off the ground. Anyway, the reason for that is she had a big injury in her leg a long time ago. Now she has a metal rod in her leg.
So here's the score. Caitlin Clark is gliding into the WNBA season like a seasoned vet, lighting up the court and making defenders rethink their careers. Angel Reese, meanwhile, is still trying to shoot better than 25% without triggering groans from the crowd. And just when you think things couldn't get rougher for Reese, the league decided to kick off the Sky's season against, yep, Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever. Saturday's matchup was billed as the big rivalry, but right now it's looking like a one-woman show, with Caitlin doing everything short of selling snacks at halftime. Reese, she's unintentionally bringing the laughs, missing easy shots, losing her assignment on defense, and looking stunned every time Cardoso grabs another rebound she thought was hers by default.
And you wonder why you have the least amount of fans showing up in attendance at your games. That all has something to do with it. You're not relatable. You're not likable. People only hear from you when you showing half off, your body, or you're showing off what you're wearing, right? Trying to make a fashion statement. You're showing off your new weave. It's so unbelievable. You're showing off your new lashes, right? But you don't talk basketball never.
It's not just rough, it's starting to feel personal. Reese has to be feeling the weight of it all. She came in ready to be the face of the future, only to watch her own teammate show her what real paint dominance looks like. Cardoso is now cleaning up the easy layups Reese once thrived on, but this isn't LSU, and the WNBA doesn't do participation awards. Cardoso's hustle, smart positioning, and sharp efficiency send a clear message. You might have the followers, but I've got the fundamentals. And Reese sees it. She's watching Caitlin Clark become the league's breakout star, Cardoso become the Sky's go-to inside presence, and herself stuck in between, not efficient enough to be the scorer, not dominant enough to own the boards, and too high profile to disappear on the bench. But hey, it's just preseason, right? Sure, except now the real games are here, and Angel's stat line is starting to read less like a rookie campaign and more like an uncomfortable afterthought.
According to Forbes, Angel Reese is arguably the biggest star in the WNBA because she has more social media followers than everyone else. But like I say all the time, popularity on social media, that does not equate to the main
And we haven't even hit the part where Caitlin Clark starts lighting up the Sky's defense with one-leg fadeaways while Angel Reese is sitting on the bench with 2 quick fouls 5 minutes in. Saturday's game has all the makings of a harsh wake-up call. Clark looks ready to put on a show, and Reese is coming in with a chip on her shoulder the size of a press conference, and not in a good way. It's the kind of chip that screams, "This isn't going how I planned." The rivalry that once thrived on college buzz, magazine covers, and social media is now being settled with court spacing, pick-and-roll defense, and actually hitting shots. Clark's adjustment has been smooth, like she's been prepping for this her whole life. Reese's has looked more like someone tripping over a bench mid-warm-up. And let's be clear, this isn't about nerves anymore. Reese has had 2 full games to show something, and the tape says it loud. Bullying college freshmen isn't the same as battling savvy WNBA vets who know how to find every hole in your game. If Reese thought she had time to figure it out, Cardoso just slammed that door shut. Every minute Cardoso outperforms her is a minute Reese loses in the rotation. And in this league, that's how stories change fast.
Folks, the Chicago Sky Game 1 of the preseason was underway last night. Angel Reese looked pretty good, but we're going to get into that momentarily. On the negative side, Angel Reese fans, LSU fans, all of you who tell us, oh my God, what a big superstar.
You got to wonder what the team is thinking right now. The marketing crew might still be busy posting glam shots of Reese in sky blue, but behind the scenes, the coaches are probably holding late-night talks that start with about that starting lineup. Reese needs a miracle on Saturday. She needs to show up and prove why she was the biggest name in women's college basketball last year. But if the preseason was any preview, Caitlin Clark might not just outplay her. She might flat out embarrass her. The difference? Clark brings consistency, night in and night out. Reese, she brings headlines, missed layups, and a rebound or two. If Cardoso feels like sharing. This isn't preseason anymore. The curtain's up, the spotlight's on, and Angel Reese better remember her lines, or Caitlin's about to turn this into a one-woman show.
Season, can we know how you felt about your play out there? You're 2 for 8. Can we know how you feel about your new role, supposedly being a point forward? Ain't no damn point forward. A point forward is a person that actually create shots for others, easy buckets for others. That's what a point guard. Caitlin Clark don't just pass the ball down to Aaliyah Boston and she turn around and make a layup and get an assist. She don't just get those kind of assists where she really didn't have nothing to do with getting Camila Cardoso or one of her players an easy basket. She not getting nobody no easy baskets. It's all off the execution of the play. Whether somebody cut back door and she make a good pass. She can make good passes, but a point forward is somebody who actually orchestrates the offense.
And if you thought Angel Reese's story couldn't get messy, just wait for Saturday's opening tip. This isn't just a game, it's an audition. Not for brand deals or social media fame, but for real on-court credibility. And right now, Reese is walking into that spotlight with 2 off-key performances, no rhythm, and the uneasy energy of someone realizing too late that the lights get hot when you're unprepared. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has already become the WNBA's main attraction without even playing a regular season game. She enters every arena like her name's on the deed, and it makes sense. Her basketball IQ is next level, her passes hit like guided missiles, and her shot selection is chaotic genius that somehow always lands. Even in preseason, she looked like she was leading a Globetrotters demo with a PhD in making defenders look silly. And she does it all with a grin that says, "Yep, I just made your favorite player look like a cone." Which brings us back to Reese, whose defense so far has looked less like lockdown and more like she's still trying to figure out where she's supposed to stand.
So I think it's time to finally, end the argument. End the argument that there is any sort of other needle mover that is even remotely close to Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. And again, the reason why we've got Hailey Van Lith up is because it was Hailey Van Lith's return as well as Angel Reese's return. Angel was not the only person. They had 2 players returning. However, right now in Carver, there are no tickets left for under $200.
Now let's talk body language. Reese has gone from confident star to confused mall walker faster than anyone expected. She's throwing side eyes at teammates, looking winded halfway through the second quarter, and moving like someone who got roped into a pickup game they didn't want to play. Meanwhile, Cardoso is out there snatching rebounds like it's second nature and turning putbacks into routine drills. It's gotten to the point where fans are already murmuring about rotation changes, and the regular season hasn't even started. As for the media, they're circling, ready to pounce. One missed free throw on Saturday, and the headlines practically write themselves. Angel Reese crumbles. Sky considers starting the mascot instead. Okay, maybe not that extreme, but you get the point. Here's the truth about pro basketball. It doesn't care about your follower count, nil deals, or college-era headlines. None of that matters when the clock starts. And Angel Reese is finding out the hard way that the WNBA doesn't exist to validate your brand. It exists to test whether you can truly run with the pros.
I've tried to tell you guys, you heard me say it on this channel. A lot of Angel Reese fans are not basketball fans, and they are proving it. They proved it last night without a shadow of a doubt. That was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. You might be like, well, Rhodes, what was so embarrassing?
To be fair, no one expected Angel Reese to drop 20 points a night from day one. But no one thought she'd be getting outplayed by her own teammate either. Cardoso, once seen as the backup act, has quietly become the most dependable frontcourt player on the team. And like they say, You lose your starting spot the same way you lose Wi-Fi. Slowly, then all at once. Reese needs a redemption arc, fast, because Caitlin Clark doesn't just show up, she shows out. And there's no louder statement than torching your biggest rival on national TV in your very first regular season game. If Clark drops 25 and Reese follows it up with another 2-for-8 shooting night, foul trouble, and some frustrated shrugs at the refs, the reaction will be brutal. Social media will explode. ESPN will have the highlight reel ready before the final buzzer, complete with moody violin music and a side-by-side comparison graphic that'll make Reese wish she took a victory lap in college instead. And fans? They're locked in. This isn't just Caitlin versus Angel. It's hype versus substance. One is proving she belongs under the spotlight. The other is still trying not to foul out before halftime.
People keep telling us there are other people in the WNBA who have made it matter. People keep telling us there are other players who are so very, very loved. There are other players who are so very, very marketable and marketed and watched and all that great stuff.
Let's not forget, Angel Reese knows pressure. She's played in championship games, handled critics, and thrived under the spotlight before. But this moment isn't about silencing haters. It's about proving she belongs. Proving that her game, her energy, and her presence can actually lead to wins at the pro level. Because if it doesn't, she risks becoming the cautionary tale, while Caitlin Clark becomes the face of the league. And here's where it gets real. If Reese flops against Clark, her entire rookie season could shift from a breakout story to a survival mission. The whispers will turn into debates, the debates into hot takes, and the hot takes into trade rumors. It might seem early, but this is the WNBA. Tight rotations, fierce competition, and limited chances. And right now, her own teammate is taking her spot right in front of her.
Turn to can't even show up and buy ticket fingers. Angel Reese going home to her alma mater, LSU, plays against the Brazilian national team in front of 6,370.
Reese needs Saturday to be her statement game. Not just a decent showing or an A for effort moment, but a full-blown reintroduction that says, I'm not just a TikTok clip from 2023. I'm here to dominate. Because if she doesn't, Caitlin Clark is going to stroll in, drop an effortless 30, and walk out with Reese's narrative neatly packaged and ready for the history books. There's still time for a bounce back. Time for Angel to channel that fire, play with urgency, and prove she belongs. But the clock is ticking, and if she's not careful, Caitlin won't just steal the spotlight. She'll rewrite the whole script, with Angel stuck reading lines from the bench.